Welcome to Linkronicity, where your journey and destiny link. I'm Stacey Kumagai, your Linkologist, and I'm here to help you link your life. How are you, lovely souls? We're back. We are back for the Inner Healing Series 2.0, Part 2. So for those of you who might have missed Part 1, I'm going to go ahead and stick the link below this video so you can go back and review Part 1 because it's really important. Part 1 of Inner Healing Series Part 2.0 is all about the foundation. Today we're going to deal with the middle stuff, which when you're about to hear what the thing is that we're going to be talking about today, you're going to go, wait, that almost seems counterintuitive, but I'm going to explain why. So it was a little confusing to me as I did the download to get the messages, but it's going to make sense by the time we're done with this video, so you can actually acknowledge and see what we're doing. So go ahead and get a pen and a pad of paper or your electronic device of what you normally take notes on. We're going to do a couple of journal prompts. We're not going to be doing as many as we did in Part 1. We're going to be doing a couple of journal prompts to help us work through the energy. And then we're going to do a little meditation, chakra cleansing for this Inner Healing 2.0 Part 2. Okay, so get ready. Pause the video, go get your notepad and your pen or whatever, and I'll meet you right back here. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to dive right into the Inner Healing Series 2.0 Part 2. And when I channel from the divine, what 3 things does the collective need to know? What 3 things does the collective need to know for Part 2 of this? Since Part 1, we dealt with happiness, we dealt with soul growth, and we dealt with gratitude 2.0 on the next higher ascension level of expanded awareness and consciousness. So the 3 things that came up for today's healing, inner healing, was worry, adversity, and empathy. And you may be thinking, why is that happening now and not first? Well, the reason is because when we deal with the initial foundation, as we dealt with in Part 1 of the Inner Healing 2.0, we dealt with the happiness and how that's changed, and the soul growth in recognizing your expanded consciousness of your soul's journey through the past 2 years of the pandemic, and utilizing that reflection, introspection time when we were quarantined and we were in isolation to the application of new levels of gratitude. Well, when you have that as your base, you're now processing all of this new knowledge and these new tools in a new way toward how you normally would look at worry, adversity, and empathy. So when I asked the divine, why are we looking at these three key things? It's because since our perception and our lens has shifted, we're going to be looking at them as learning curves and taking that awareness for the learning curves of what we've been through and how to transform those energies rather than just mute them, transform them to help you grow further and higher up in your awareness so that you can be of service to others. That's where this next level comes in. Because before, you used to just sit with all of this stuff, right? You used to sit with your own adversity. You used to sit with your own worry. You used to sit with the empathy, like maybe in your smaller bubble. But this is taking it to the next level, 2.0, grander scale, of applying that energy and putting it back into the collective to help others experiencing these things as well, which means this video is meant to be shared. So if you know anybody right now in your life who's experiencing worry or adversity and is really needing of some empathy right now and compassion, then this video is really all about you acknowledging the tools that you have within yourself so that you can then share this exercise with them, and then they can purge through the journaling, and they can then go through the meditation and chakra cleansing with us, and have them join us in the collective consciousness so that they can heal as well. So again, it's paying it forward and something that's bigger than us. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So now that you have your tools ready, let's work on the journal prompts for the number one thing that we are going to be talking about, which is worry. Now, as we examine worry from the Inner Healing series back in 2019, we were dealing with worry as in terms of how we were processing the things that we were anxious or worried about, which then led to stress, right? So because in 2019 for the Inner Healing series, we were dealing with how to combat stress and how to combat anxiety and how to combat worry. We're now looking at worry through a new lens because of what we've been through, and we've come to one conclusion, lovely souls. We've come to the conclusion that worry doesn't change the outcome. So with this journal prompt, I'm going to ask you right now, how has your perception of the wasted energy you used to spend worrying turned productive? How has your perception about the energy you used to waste worrying turned into something productive for you and constructive for you? How are you using that? And you may be looking at that journal prompt thinking, well, that's an interesting thing to write about, but how am I going to address it? Well, let me give you some examples, because examples are always key to us moving forward. So let's take a particular thing that maybe you might have worried about in the past. Anything. I mean, anything. Whatever your fear was, or maybe something that you were anxious about because you wanted to do well on something or get through a situation, or were what-ifing a situation, already projecting outcomes. Maybe you've changed and transformed that energy and transmuted it and turned it into something where you can now be proactive about it. So maybe those are examples that you will cite in this journal prompt. Think about those situations and be really honest. Maybe like address the things that you've failed at, what didn't really work so well for you. And then also give yourself a pat on the back, acknowledge and give yourself kudos for what you did proactively and productively that turned out better because you changed the energy. You've turned it into something productive and proactive as opposed to reactive, which is what worrying really is. Worry is a reactive kind of emotion, which is not only is it not serving you, but we've seen through our own transformation that it doesn't really change the outcome, right? We all worried about COVID. It doesn't really change the outcome about worrying about it. It came whether we worried about it or not. It happened, regardless of how much energy you're putting into it, right? So we have now had to learn how to navigate and shift through it and work through it and be safe and insert protocols and come up with solutions to working with the existing energy. Well, worrying is the same way. If you learn to utilize it as a tool as opposed to something you have to fight, say, well, okay, if I'm worried about this, I must be feeling X, Y, Z. So when you feel worried in your heart and in your mind, what is that really telling you, lovely souls? What is it shining a light on? What fear is it really just squarely giving it to you straight away on your face? What is that? Because the sooner you confront that energy of that worry, you no longer have to worry about it. You can make it go away. So in the journal prompt, acknowledge past worrying, where you failed with feeling it, and where you've succeeded in turning it around. Please be mindful about acknowledging both sides of that coin. Why is that important? It's important so you see the contrast. Because when you see the contrast, you're going to see what your soul is trying to urge you to see in terms of how you can use this to better your life. If you see being proactive and constructive with the energy instead of allowing it to make you reactive, then your proactive actions are going to not only serve you better, but are going to change the trajectory of your life, because you're no longer wasting that energy or time and expending it in this place. So if you show the contrast of failure and success in these scenarios, you don't even have to be worried about failure. You don't, because you're going to be seeing it head on, and how you already know how successful an outcome you can have when you turn it around. So that's journal prompt number 1, addressing worry. Journal prompt number 2 is about adversity. Now, we all have adversity. So let me ask you, lovely souls, this is a journal prompt. When have you accepted the challenge? And you know what I mean when I say that. When have you accepted the challenge of facing adversity? And what was your best tool for overcoming it? Walking through it. Working with it. How did you get through that? What did you do? What did you use? What tools in your toolbox did you use in dealing with adversity? Why am I having you journal prompt this? I'm having you journal prompt this because when you understand how strong you are, and you understand how resourceful you are, and you understand that in any situation that you face in adversity, you can pull up a solution. That's power. And we're all here now in the Inner Healing Series 2.0 to empower you with what you've already learned through your lessons of adversity, and what you still can use in overcoming any challenge that comes to you with your strength. So use that journal prompt. When have you faced your challenges? When have you overcome adversity? What did you do to do it? And here's like a part 2 to that. When did you know you succeeded? When did you know you succeeded in overcoming adversity? When was that moment? When was that aha moment? When did you say, I've got this? When did you say, yeah, I can do this. I can get through this. I can face this. I can overcome this. When did you say that? When did the light bulb go on and you went, when? And how did you know? Did you use your intuition? Did you develop clarity in your mind and in your heart and go, yeah, I see it now. I'm above the fray now. I can see it now. When we take this adversity positioning and we know that we can overcome any challenge, now, and we've released the worry because that doesn't serve us, now we can link those two together and make worry and adversity become our friend in a way that they're tools now we know how to work with and work through and overcome. And then the third piece of this is empathy. And you can choose to use this as a journal prompt or not. Just, it's up to you. This is going to be an open, optional thing. But if you feel triggered, use it as a journal prompt. If you don't and you think you've got this, just ride through what I'm about to share. That's being channeled through me right now. How much compassion and empathy did you have for yourself when you were facing adversity overcome with worry? How much empathy and compassion did you give yourself, apply towards yourself, when you were facing adversity and faced with worry? How much empathy and compassion did you have for yourself? When did that kick in? Did you forgive yourself for overburdening yourself with the pain and the worry and the struggle of the idea of adversity? Did you forgive the situation? Because, when we forgive the situation and instead embrace it as a lesson, miraculously, we see the positive of it instead of dwelling on the negative of it. And when we embrace the positive of it instead of dwelling on the negative of it, we're automatically raising our vibration. And what happens when we raise our vibration? When we raise our vibration, we're actually not only elevating our own consciousness awareness to a higher place, 2.0, but we're also raising the collective consciousness a slight level as well. And if more people did this, we would be continuing to do this and be more solution and action oriented as opposed to reactionary, which doesn't really do much, right? You can vent and have a negative outlook and dwell on something. Doesn't change it. Just like it doesn't change worrying, doesn't change the outcome. Well, dwelling in that negative energy doesn't change the outcome either, right? So if you raise your vibration through this empathy and compassion, you forgive yourself in the situation, you embrace it as an opportunity, you look at it as a lesson, you say, thank you, challenge, adversity, for teaching me a lesson. Thank you, worry, to show me that I can overcome worry and not be fearful of it because I know I can get through the challenge because I see on paper here now through my journal prompt that I actually have been through it before. I've had a success, and that is a measurement of what is possible. What is possible instead of impossible. Instead of impossible, you say, I am possible and I can get through this, right? You use your own inner strength to lift you up. When you use your inner strength to lift you up and you lift the vibration, then you're lifting it up for everybody else. And again, this goes back to what I talked about earlier when we started this video about paying it forward. The more you can do that, the more you can help yourself and you can help somebody else. And the more you can do that, then you're continually raising the vibration, compounding it, magnifying it, amplifying it further and further and further and further and further and further. And the more we do that, lovely souls, the better things are, the better the situation, and more importantly, more likely the outcome will be better as well. Because that energy is magnetization. And when we magnify positive energy, we, again, raise the vibration. And when we do that and we take the positivity and we turn things that were once negative into positives, we're elevating the collective consciousness. And when we're doing that, we're ascending even further. And when we're ascending even further, we're expanding our awareness and we're expanding our growth. And it goes back to Inner Healing Series 2.0 Part 1, where we're actually expanding our happiness, expanding our soul growth, and expanding our gratitude for the worry, adversity, and the empathy and compassion. Because we see again how all these 6 things link together now. So we're in Part 2 of the Inner Healing Series, and we see how 6 things actually kind of are like this chain reactionary thing. Now, if we were to turn every one of these links in the chain to this vibration, suddenly we can combat worry, adversity, and have more compassion and empathy, do the healing from the compassion and the empathy to then further perpetuate happiness, soul growth, and also one other layer of gratitude that we didn't have before. And that's how it works together. So what does this mean, lovely souls? From our head to our root chakra, we have now a yin-yang balance. When we have a yin-yang balance, we then have harmony in our mind, body, soul, consciousness. So what I'd like to do today is address the 2 extreme chakras, which is the soul star chakra, which is above your head, and the root chakra, which is beneath the earth star chakra, which is beneath your feet. So that's even further than the root. The root chakra is in your spine, but further down below the bottoms of your feet is the earth star. So the earth star and the soul star, so we can link it all together. So I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to meditate, and we're going to picture the soles of our feet putting roots growing out from the bottoms of our feet into the central core of the earth. And we're going to take this energy, having our feet swirl through the core of the earth to firmly root us and plant us. And with that energy, we're going to go through the lights of the brown energy and the red energy through our bottom of our spine, the orange energy of our sacral chakra place, which is just right at our navel area, and the solar plexus chakra, which is the yellow energy, which is going to go straight to the heart chakra, and the higher heart chakra, which is green energy for the heart chakra, higher heart energy, which is the pink chakra. We're going to go directly to our throat, which is the light blue energy. We're going to go to our soul's knowing, which is the indigo blue intuition chakra, to the purple chakra, which is at our crown, to the soul star chakra, which is the brightest white light above our head. We're going to visualize this entire rainbow system through our body. Feel the energy. And we're going to put it together, and we're going to say the positive affirmation. I can. I will. I can. I will. I can. I will. I can. I will. Now, ... Overcome worry. Face any challenge or adversity. And be gentle enough with compassion and empathy for myself and for everyone else. And we're going to bring that together. And we're going to put that healing energy through us, for the collective. And we're going to simply breathe in, breathe out. And with that, we're going to take our soul's knowing and sit in the newfound place of what our self-realization has been for self-actualization. And that's part 2, lovely souls. So review your journal prompts. Continue to do this chakra unification healing from the soul star chakra to the earth star chakra beneath your feet. Bring that energy into this positive light of possibility. I am possible. And look at what you can do to move your journey forward into the next steps of where you're going as you face your new adventure, new opportunities, new expansion in consciousness awareness on the highest ascended level of your being, 2.0 and beyond, to carry you through what is facing you, what you're feeling, and taking that gentle practice of the constant empathy and compassion for yourself and everyone else so you can live your best life. I'm Stacey Kumgai, your Linkologist, here to help you link your life. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Linkronicity, blogspot.com, and go to Linkronicity.com if you want a private coaching session. I've got them available. Linkronicity.com. Sign up. I'll give you a free 30-minute consultation so we can assess exactly where you are, and I can customize a very special session for you, your particular journey, and your unique path, and help you get into your own higher consciousness, ascended awareness, expanded consciousness, knowing and being, so you can move your next chapter forward. I'm sending you light and love, lovely souls, blessings, peace, strength, and you're all knowing of your inner healing 2.0 next level ascended expanded consciousness awareness, and I'm hoping that you have a beautiful, blessed day. Be gentle with yourself, be gentle with each other, and be gentle as you go through this next phase of your inner healing. Love and light, blessings, namaste.